Hello, world. It's me again, Dr. Helen, founder and CEO, that's Chief Engagement Officer of Dr. Helen Holton and Associates, and your host for Dr. Helen Speaks, Strengths, Resilience, and Leadership. Welcome to the show today. As a strengths, resilience, and leadership coach, I work with you and stand for women leaders like you who show up here because you want more for your life and your leadership. Our goal is to motivate, inspire, and move you closer to your greatness to gain your gold goddess status for the queen that you are. The world may not recognize it yet, but here we do, and we are invested in helping you to develop it and have it show up in a powerful way. Now, each week, we explore topics to discover, uncover, and unpack ways for you to leverage your strengths, the best of who you are, understand and manage your weaknesses. We all have them, and to build your resilience, the power and perseverance to sustain you through the storms of life. And we all have those storms in life. Here we use an innovative, heart-centered system with proven results to help you achieve more success with less stress and a deeper fulfillment in life. What does success look like? Well, I'll tell you. It shows up as an increase in your performance, your productivity, and your prosperity potential, or profits, the bottom line. At the end of the day, we all have a bottom line that we're looking to achieve or reach as that measure that says, yes, I've succeeded. So as your show host, coach, mentor, trainer, and convener of leaders, we'll talk about how you can optimize your leadership. I open every show with this one burning question, and I ask that of myself every day. And that is, do you have the opportunity to do what you do best every day? Well, I'm going to tell you, I do, and I love it. And that's what we want for you too. What we've learned is that one of the most effective ways to achieve success is to deepen your engagement with the people you encounter. That's right. It's not just how you engage yourself, it's also in how you engage others. Your engagement develops your personal, unique path to what you really want for your life. And sometimes you have to tweak it along the way to make it better as you grow and become more of who you were created to be. And we're here to help you connect and engage deeper with who you are at your very best. So, how did I come to be in this space and place? I'll tell you. After years of learning, giving up, growing, failing forward, and starting over, what became true, and a truth that I share with the world, is that your ability to stay committed and focused on what you believe and know to be true for you is key to your success. And I want you to keep this in mind, that delayed doesn't mean denied. So if you've abandoned what you thought was your purpose for being, what you were really put on this earth to do, go back and revisit it. Just because it hasn't occurred yet doesn't mean it's not coming. And maybe it's an opportunity for you to do a refresh, tweak it a little bit, get rid of some things, add a couple more in, because you're not the same person you were when you started, and you've learned and gained some things to help you stay true to who you are and what you want for your life. So along life's journey, you're going to hit highs and lows. And just like the financial markets, the stock market that we watch go up and down with regularity, as long as you stay invested in your vision and purpose, your investment will yield the success you're after. How do I know that? because it's happened in my life. It's happened in the lives of other women I know. Sharing our stories and learning to get back up on that horse or that bike or that camel, whatever it is, when you fall off. It's just another way of building your resilience and going after what you want for your life. So our goal is to support you on your path to your best life ever and help you maintain that commitment to reach your goal on your terms. Because if you're not doing it for what you believe to be true for you, then who are you doing it for? Whose reality are you living into? Yeah. Whose Kool-Aid are you drinking? Make up your own batch. That's right. So Dr. Helen Speaks is here live on the Win-Win Women TV network every Tuesday, 10 a.m. Pacific time and 1 p.m. Eastern time. You can also catch the show on Roku TV, Amazon Fire, and Apple TV. And I invite you to follow me on LinkedIn at Dr. Helen Holton, where you can keep up with what's happening with Dr. Helen Speaks. We'll share with you from wisdom of lessons learned, lived experiences, and earned expertise from women leaders like you. We're here to ignite your spark and fuel your flame to think, do, and be more of who you really are and what you want for your life. It's our opportunity to pay it forward through you. Now, we begin each show with gratitude to Paula Fellingham, founder, visionary leader, and dream weaver of the Win-Win Women Network. As part of this global community, we have the opportunity to learn and grow, to share, motivate, and inspire your success as a leader. And not just me, other people who come to the show and share how they went from something to something. I started to say nothing to something, but we've all begun someplace. So nothing isn't a reality. Maybe we were smaller and we wanted to get bigger or expand that community, which resonates and connects with what we given are the only ones that have to give back. So thank you for joining and being a part of our community. Now, before we jump in, I want you to grab your note-taking device. Now, whether it's pen and paper, a tablet, a computer, your phone, we want you to capture the notable nuggets of wisdom, insight, and aha moments that will empower you to think, do, and be more. We don't want you to miss anything. And just in case you do, you can always catch the replay from one of our outlets or from the same link that got you here today. So put the show on your calendar as a weekly meeting. And like me, I'm like you. You can't always make it, but it's there as a reminder that when you're going through your daily calendar, now I do it every day when I wake up in the morning, however you do it, and share it with your friends and colleagues. If you take something away, don't keep it all to yourself, share it. Let's make our circle bigger with more information to share, exchange, and do what we do. Ready to go? Great. Me too. Let's do it. Our topic today is mothers, memories, and motivation. Yeah, that's a big one. I was reading an article by Gallup the other day, and they were talking about the continuing decline in engagement that began in late 2021. Now, we all know where we were late 2021. We were in the thick of, I'm sick of COVID, and COVID didn't go anywhere. Well, before the pandemic, the decline in the percentage of people engaged in what they're doing, and I mean active engagement, we're moving into the realm of the disengaged. And it was evident across the board. What do I mean by that? It was evident with those exclusively working remotely, those in a hybrid environment. Sometimes I go in, sometimes I stay home. Staggered schedules. You remember that? Yeah, it's still going on. And those exclusively on site. Think about our healthcare providers and grocery stores and gas stations and pharmacies, all those places where the world really could not shut down because these were the people on the front line, our first responders who were needed to help maintain some semblance of society. Well, surprisingly, it was those working exclusively remotely that had the highest decrease in engagement. Now, this made me think about overall well-being. So there are 6 elements of well-being. Gallup names 5 of them in what they call net thriving. I added the 6th one, which is really your spirituality or your faith element, how that impacts you. And I was listening to a podcast that, and they were challenging Gallup about, well, why don't you all talk about spirituality? And I love the response. They said, well, all of these areas are encompassed within spirituality. I said, bingo, how could you leave out the one that makes all things possible? So I added number 6, and I was glad to hear that Gallup uses it. They just don't put it out there for print, in print. So all that to say is that engagement is a crucial component to improving your well-being and resilience. Resilience. Okay, so I've been talking about resilience for over a decade. It's finally hit mainstream where everybody's saying, oh, resilience. But do they really understand what resilience is? And you don't capture it when you're in the throes of what you're looking to get over. It's when things are going good that you put in practice and put in place practices and habits that really help you build the resilience. So when the storm hits, you're like, whoa, okay, it's a storm, but I got something for the storm. So consider the impact of communicating, caring, talent development, your professional development, and collaboration. All of these took a major hit during the pandemic. And Gallup says that career and social well-being are the driving forces after your faith or spiritual well-being that causes people to really be engaged, disengaged, or actively disengaged. Now, when you get to that place, you're really in a difficult place. But people don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. So caring is really important. At the beginning of the pandemic, many employers demonstrated a genuine sense of caring about the people they worked with and for. There was a sense of an overall deeper sense of belonging and understanding that, hey, we're all in this together. Well, what happened? As time went on, there was that shift. What is it? If we keep doing what we've always done, we'll keep getting what we've always gotten. And so we kind of reverted back to that deep sense of caring, and the clarity of expectations became less focused and a little fuzzy. So if you're not real clear on what the expectations are, it's really easy to check out of the game and kind of show up without being actively engaged. Inadequate materials and equipment delays, and in some cases, non-existence. Remember empty grocery store shelves and the ability to get masks and sanitizers? Yeah, the supply chain logjam. And what about your own personal leadership development? Virtual versus in person? I'll be the first to say, I'm a much better learner when it's in person. There's something about when you're in the presence of other people, you feel and feed off of their energy, whether it be positive or negative or neutral. It impacts you because you can feel it. It's a little more difficult to get that same sense of feeling via technology. But I'm grateful for technology because it does allow us to adapt. We'll talk about that on another episode. But our connection to people we work with, be it our bosses, our peers, our direct reports, our contractors, our subcontractors, our virtual assistants, whatever the case may be, took a hit. So here's the deal. Our well-being is inseparable from our engagement. I recently had the opportunity to present at an in-person conference. And can I tell you, oh my goodness, what an adrenaline rush. I'd forgotten that feeling of being in the presence of real people, not just in front of my computer screen. The energy boost was just amazing. It brought back memories of a different reality. We are relational beings designed to want and need human connections. That's right. Beyond the advancements of technology and cyberspace, yes, they're important, but it's that human connection. Whether it's a handshake, a fist bump, an elbow bump, or a hug. And I miss you. You know, one of those good, one of those hugs that just make you feel the love and presence of connecting. It has great value, and it can't replace what we experience via technology. So thinking about our present reality calls me to think about three things that have been with me for as long as I can remember. Mothers, our memories, and motivation. And out of motivation, oftentimes it's our resilience that helps us get there. So what comes up for you when you think about the role of mothers in your life? Now, most of us have more than one mother, whether it's a godmother, a grandmother, a stepmother, a village mother, a church mother. And for some of us, our mothers were men standing in the gap. That's right. So where in your life has there been a woman or a man in the gap whose wisdom and wise counsel made a difference in your life? Mothers represent for many of us our first encounter with life that made us feel safe, loved, nurtured, seen, and heard. Mothers were our first teachers that taught us how to walk, talk, eat, and be toilet trained. That's right, those things that you can't take for granted. Mothers were also often our first disciplinarians who scolded, spanked, punished us with words and works. Think about some of the lessons that still hold true for you today. I know they still hold true for me. Do you recall those motherly messages for molding character or managing misbehavior? Like, and who do you think you are? Who do you think you're talking to? Oh, yeah, that was a big one that made you say, oops. Oh, yeah, let me get it together. Or here's a good one. I grew up, me and my sisters, latchkey kids, and we'd get that phone call about the time we were home from school. Now finish your homework before you start watching TV or going out to play. Here's another one. Go to your room and think about what you did. Oh, that was a tough one. Because I'm telling you, when it came time to be called from that room, you better have something you thought about that's going to make sense and not send you back to that room because you didn't spend the right kind of time thinking about whatever it was you did that sent you into captivity. Now, here's a biggie. If you can't say something nice, then don't say anything at all. I remember, and this is something that, you know how they say, we go through life as infants, we become adults, and when we live long enough, we kind of return to that infancy stage. I can remember my grandmother. I'm her namesake, both my grandmothers, something I will carry with me to my grave. But I can remember my grandmother who died from Alzheimer's, that used to always be one, shh, don't say that, they're going to hear you. Well, as her disease progressed, might be out in public and she'd see something and she'd just say it out loud. And my mother would say, shh, shh, they can hear you, they can hear you. As if my grandmother cared. She continued on with what she was saying. That's right. Here's another one. You can't judge a book by its cover. Respect your elders. Oh, this was one I hated hearing every time it came because I knew what it meant. A hard head makes a soft behind. Or something as simple. I'm so very proud of you. Oh my goodness, how that can take away the words and deeds of the naysayers you confront in life. What have these messages taught you? How have they impacted your life? Now, if you don't see your mother as a leader, take another look and how your life's been shaped by the presence of your mother and mother figures. I know the woman I am today has an imprint of my mother and the other mothers in this life I have all over it. Motherhood is hard work. Don't ever let someone tell you it's not. It requires time and investment to do it well. Oh, and by the way, there really is no tried and true manual for how to be a good mother. You know, it's trial and error. You do the best you can with what you've got. But this is what I know. Mothers have a goal and mission in mind when they go down that path to help you have a better life, a more successful life, and to be a good person in life, to pay it forward and leave a legacy. That's right. They want you to have and be more than they were. Think about it. The memories we conjure up about the mother or mothers in our life make a difference in who you become. You learn from the best of who they are and the mistakes that they make. Yeah, mothers make mistakes too. So here are a few leadership lessons mothers model and teach you. The ability to maximize resources and prioritize tasks. That's right. I can remember as an adult with my siblings and talking to my mom about, well, yeah, we had a great life. I remember Tuesday night was family night and we'd go out to dinner. And my mother would say, we were poor. And we'd look and say, no way. We never missed a meal. We always had a roof over our heads. But as children, we didn't understand what mom went through to make sure we had that. A get it done attitude. Number two, another leadership lesson. A mother spends a lot of time and effort that we often miss growing up. And even in adulthood, maybe we don't understand it. But think about how you are as a leader. Do you focus on, hey, I got to get it done by any means necessary? And that doesn't mean you're going to go to lengths that will bring harm or danger, but you're going to do what you have to do to get it done, to get that assignment completed, to move your team to the next level, to get those who are looking to you as a leader to understand what it means to accomplish something, a goal, a task. Know when to push and when to let go. You can't keep pushing. Sometimes it's too much. And this is where, like a mother, you become observant of your flock, of your congregation, of your team, of your siblings, whatever it may be, to move forward. Number 4, embrace the unknown. And I promise you, you will encounter those things. What the Sam Hill is this? What am I supposed to do with this? But as a leader, you got to figure it out. Now, it may mean that you call on one of your mothers in life who maybe has been in a similar situation, or a colleague or a peer. But you've got to embrace it because it sits on your plate as a leader. 5, patience and discipline. That's right. Patience and discipline will take you places that you never thought you could get to. Number 6, here's a good one. Balance competing needs, demands, and wants. That's right. Because sometimes they all come at you at one time and you've got to balance them or decide, give some priority to them. Or maybe you realize they just all can't get done in the time you have. How about this one? Number 7, learn to roll with the punches. Yeah, roll with the punches and keep it coming. That's right. Number 8, I want to leave this with you, is to live in the moment with your future goal in mind. And I can't think of what philosopher said it. It's going to come back to me, but it's about living in the present moment because that's what's happening right now. And you never want to lose sight. Your future goal in mind is like that North Star, that vision you have for your life, your leadership, that keeps you moving towards your North Star. But to get there, it's the tactical plans you put in place that you take on day to day. So the things that matter most to you are the things that get your attention. They often represent the imprint you leave and they influence your legacy that will live on beyond you. It all begins with you, your purpose, passion, and pursuit for your life. So I'm going to ask you again, do you have the chance to do what you do best every day? If yes, woohoo! Let's celebrate. That's great. It's something we share in common. And if you've picked up a few nuggets to stretch you to grow even more, then take action on something you've heard today. Go back and revisit those rich memories you have of your mom. Don't dwell on the ones that didn't help you move forward, or if they didn't help you move forward, then they certainly gave you the goal and the desire, the motivation to do better, to move forward. And don't just think about it, do something about it. And if you want more support, reach out to me and let's talk about it. Wherever you are on your path to success is exactly where you're supposed to be. And if you feel stuck, maybe it's a good idea to call for a little help, a little assistance. As I say in resilience, everyone should have a lifeline that they can call on when they really need to get unstuck. And you can reach me at engage@drhelenholton.com. That's ENGAGE at Dr. Helen Holton, all one word, .com. Because at Dr. Helen Holton Associates, we work with leaders using a heart-centered approach to help you optimize your strengths for more success, less stress, and greater fulfillment in life. So we want you to keep coming back for more. We've got plenty to share with you, I promise you. Keep coming back. Share our show with your friends and colleagues who may want more for their life. I'm living my best life ever, and I want that for you too. So what are you waiting for? Join a community that's going to pour into you and not continually take out of you. It matters. Our community focuses on strengths, resilience, and leadership. Here on the Win-Win Women TV network, Roku TV, Amazon Fire, and Apple TV every Tuesday at 10 a.m. Pacific time and 1:00 p.m. Eastern time. That's where I live. Where together we'll work with you to live your best life ever, doing, hey, what you do best every day that no one can do better than you. That's what I'm saying. Nobody does what you do best to make a difference in this life. And that's up to you to do. So if you're not invested in it, how do you expect the rest of the world to know who you are, what you're doing, what you're about, and how you're making a difference? John Maxwell defines leadership with one word: influence. If you're a leader and no one's following you, you don't have influence. You just think you're a leader. If you've got one person leading you, following you, you're a leader. because they're looking to you to grow, do, and be more. Yes, so do it. Join us here every Tuesday at 1 o'clock p.m. to grow your leadership to be the best and live your best life ever.